Alright, what's good YouTube, it's Jay here. So today we're going to be talking about XDefiant, what I liked, what I disliked, what needs to be improved, and a variety of other things. This does not relate to anything that's already known to be releasing with the game, like seasons and whatever other changes they've already talked about. This is strictly just beta content. So without further ado, we're going to just kind of jump right into it. I have a long little list of things that I'd like to talk about, and we're not going to make this video too long either. So starting off with what I like. I love the gunplay, the movement, and the maps. The gunplay felt about as snappy as it did with older Call of Duties. It felt clean, it felt crisp, nothing felt too slow, and the fact that we actually have hit scan instead of like bullet, like velocity and stuff like what Call of Duty's been doing over the last couple of years, man, I really enjoyed that a lot. I feel like all my shots were hitting for the most part. I didn't have too many issues with the connection like a lot of people did in this beta. Me personally, everything went kind of smoothly, but I love the gunplay. The movement is fast paced, but not too chaotic, I want to say. It's balanced. I definitely do think that this game is going to be sweaty. Out of doubt. It's not really a true casual experience, I want to say. Like, it might be. I ran into a lot of casual players, had a lot of casual players on my teams too, but for the most part, I think with how crazy the movement can be in a good way, and how good the gunplay is, it's definitely gonna be pretty darn sweaty, but that's kind of the whole point too. It's meant to be kind of a competitive shooter, especially with ranked play and stuff coming out. For the most part, I mean, I enjoy the movement. I don't think it's too all over the place. I think it's just about right. I do think sometimes, like when you're mantling and crouching and stuff, it feels a little funky, I want to say, or just inconsistent, especially mantling over items. We'll talk about that later in the areas of things that I dislike. As for the maps are colorful, bright. I mean, they're not all the same. They're 3 lanes for the most part, and the maps that do have some extra flair or extra layers to them aren't all over the place. They're not just too big. They're not just multi-level story buildings with so many windows and rooftops you can camp on and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a perfect balance of that old school feel with maps with a mild bit of that modern feeling to it, I want to say. I think the maps play really well in this game. They're all colorful, they play smooth. I love them. I do also like the character abilities too, for the most part, except that spider bot. I really don't like it. I know you can shoot it, I know you gave your teammates shoot it off your face, and I know you can melee it. I still don't like it, okay? But the other abilities, for the most part, I don't have a problem with. They don't feel too insane, except for the flamethrower. We'll talk about that in the dislike section, but everything else feels really good. As far as what I disliked about this beta, so this is going to be a weird little list of just minor things, honestly. So some of the animations I think are a little wonky, like when you're mantling over items, sometimes when you're sprinting, when you're throwing grenades. I still, to this day, do not know where my grenade is going to go when I throw it. It feels like I'm aiming directly at where I want to throw it, and I'm trying to arc it properly, and then it just, I Tom Brady that bitch all the way to the moon. Definitely think it needs to be adjusted just a tiny bit. I have a hard time kind of really throwing my grenades, unfortunately. I mean, the spider bot is a controversial one because there are ways to counter it, but I still don't like it, honestly. Just because of the fact that it stops you from shooting, it stops you from moving, it stops you from seeing what's in front of you. It's kind of loud, and it can damage you and potentially kill you if you're weak enough to. I just don't like the thing, man. I mean, I don't know how you would adjust it, honestly, but I'm not a fan. Not a fan of it at all, and that's all I gotta say, right? I just don't like the way it plays. It just throws me off so much, especially when you run into multiple of them in one game. Just constantly having your face grabbed mid-gunfight, and then, you know, you're just basically a guaranteed free kill. That's kind of really what the bigger issue with it is. Now, I know, like I said, there are counters to it, but again, just grabbing your face mid gunfight and stop you from fighting, I'm not a fan of it. I'm sorry. And as far as like the flamethrower goes, that thing's range is just nuts, honestly, man. I remember I cleared a hill the other day on stream, and I wasn't even close to those guys. I just started spraying in the direction of the hill, got an immediate 6-piece. I think it should burn you, not just be an instant kill. I think a little bit of burning and then letting you die just to give people a chance to kind of react to it would be fair. When the flame touches you, you're literally instantly dead. To add on to the things that I didn't like, that Molotov from the fire guy is also kind of nuts. You just run into a crowded room, instantly throw down a Molotov, and then insta-kills everybody. Yeah, I don't like that one. That needs to be adjusted. Honestly, to say, I really didn't have too many issues with this beta. There weren't a lot of things that I could say I disliked. It felt good. It was a really fun beta. But the spider bot, the weird animations, and that flamethrower all need to be, I think, ironed out just a little bit more, especially in the animation department. When you just mantle over stuff, sometimes you just teleport on top of it, or you can't get over it at all sometimes for some weird reason. It just needs a little bit more fine-tuning and a little bit more ironing out. But otherwise, there wasn't really much I disliked about the beta. And I don't go into games finding what I could dislike. I play the betas or play games for a long time to gotta get my feelings adjusted to things I would just naturally, you know, feel are a little bit off. I don't go into games looking for something to hate. That's just weird. Moving forward, what needs to be improved for a good release? So I think, like I said, the animations definitely need to be adjusted, but the party system is something that really needs a lot of work, man. Last beta had some issues kind of with partying, I think. Actually, it might have been the opposite. The last beta just had more issues with the netcode than anything, which is vastly improved in this version, but now parties are an absolute nightmare to get together. And I know it's a beta, so they're obviously going to be working hard to adjust that. And again, shout out to the XDefiant team, Mark Rubin, Aches, and everybody else associated for being so transparent on Twitter with everything. I've never seen a dev team be as transparent as this team was. Shout out to those guys for doing all that, because we know a lot of things are going to get adjusted, and it's going to be hopefully a smoother release. But yeah, the party system is definitely something they got to iron out. Again, same with those animations, and probably some stuff with the network and stuff. I did get some high pings here and there, but I'd never had an issue joining the lobbies and finding a game. At first, like on the first day when I tried to launch, I did have an issue finding a game, but after I found that first game, I guess the population had to fill in, I was able to get into pretty much any game smoothly. For the most part, there's a lot of stuff that's really well done for beta, and there are definitely some things that need to be ironed out from the beta. So going forward, I guess we can talk a little bit about some kind of content that's going to be coming with the future release of the game. The game is going to be free. You're going to have a battle pass every season. There's going to be 3 new maps, 3 new guns, and I think a new game mode or something. I'd have to really look back at the roadmap, but I mean, we got a long future plan ahead of us. The reason why I'm bringing this up is I saw a lot of people saying this game is not going to survive. It needs more. It needs this, that, and the other. I think a lot of people forget that this is a beta and it's meant to just be a test bed for the bare basics of the game. You know, we're not getting all the content in the beta. Gamers are kind of spoiled. Like, I get why a lot of people probably are thinking like that. We live in a world full of battle royales and other things that you quote unquote need to survive. I don't really think this game is going to need to go the BR route, but talking about in terms of the overall content, I mean, it's a beta. I don't really have much to comment on that. I played it for what it's supposed to be giving me, which is just beta content. Like, we have a whole year's worth of a roadmap already laid out for us, full of new things, and I think it's a little unfair to constantly say that this game is going to die just from the beta alone. Like, there's more to come with the game, and only time will tell. I'm not going to say it will or it won't, but I'm just saying time will tell. It's a beta, you know, so just got to be patient, man. And I know patience is hard in this day and age, but just give it a little bit of time. But the big money question, I guess, is, do I actually think this game will survive? Like I said, time will tell. I think it will. I think it'll fit a very like niche audience of people like me, like former COD pros, other players that really just love arena shooters with actual hit scan and not just BR elements slapped on top of it, you know? I definitely think I would like to see more things to like work towards in terms of like progression and you know, something I guess you could quote unquote grind for. Now it's a beta, so I still haven't yet. We have to wait and see to see what kind of grinding stuff they're going to add to the game after all, but I would like to see maybe you know, like, I know prestiges are coming, maybe a traditional prestige system, like 10 prestiges or something like that, but they're considering even more than that, which is pretty cool. I don't think we're ever going to get kill streaks, but I would like to see something else aside from like the hero ability to kind of work towards. You know, I know Mark Rubin doesn't want to go the old like COD route of just having, you know, relappable kill streaks and stuff, just so they're not completely copying the Call of Duty formula. But you know, I look forward to see what they add. I look forward to seeing what they're going to add that will make the game feel more like I have something to work towards in each of these games, you know? And by all means, I don't mind hopping in an arena and just going crazy in pubs, but I would like to have something to grind for, I guess. Obviously, we're gonna have the attachment grinds, the camo grinds, and so forth. We got given every single attachment for every gun in this beta, so I think that's probably why a lot of it to some people feels like there's so little to do, because they just gave us everything that we needed to enjoy the beta with. But again, I'm still looking forward to the future content releases. So I mean, overall, I enjoyed the beta. I didn't have too many problems with it. Some things here and there that need to be adjusted, but for the most part, everything was real smooth. The hit detection was nice, the gameplay felt good, and I had a blast, honestly, and I'm looking forward to the full release. I don't think it needs to come out yet. I think it needs to iron out a few things before it fully releases. Give it maybe at least 2 to 4 months more, just to iron out all those like little micro bugs, party issues, animations, etc. It's supposed to release later this summer, and I don't know how smooth that release is going to go, just from the fact that we had so many issues with connections and parties and stuff. But I think if they give it some time and keep working at it just a little bit longer, it'll be a really like smooth release, honestly. And overall, I had a great time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it, sub to the channel for more gaming content, and as always, this has been Jay the Gamer. I will see you in a later video. Peace.